Lafferty. White. Sergeant Pettinger.
Ma'am.
Corporal Billis.
Ma'am.
Corporal LeMay.
Ma'am.
Private Calaresu.
Ma'am.
Private Moshka.
Ma'am.
Private Forrest.
Ma'am.
Private Gaetz.
Ma'am.
Cameron.
Corps attention!
Good evening, Sergeant Major.
Capt. Kozar.
Parade. Stand at ease.
Stand please for the reviewing please.
Parade. Attention. General salute. Salute. Attention. Compliments of the evening. 1809, the Loyal Edmonton Regt Cadet Corps. 31 all ranks on parade, ready for your inspection, sir.
But, Sergeant Sworn, sir.
How are you doing tonight?
Great, sir.
Good. What's your plans for the summer?
I hope to attend, sir.
Burn?
Yes, sir.
What are you gonna take?
CLI commission sooner.
Excellent. You got your CF-51 in already?
I hope so, sir. You haven't been in those since for you.
Excellent. Don't wait too long on that.
Well, I hope you make it. Thank you, sir.
Sergeant Major. Grade 1809, the Loyal Edmonton Regt Cadet Corps will march past in column of route. Move to the right in threes. A right turn. As you were. Once again, Corps will march past in column of route. Move to the right in threes. Right turn. Parade. By the left wheel, quick march. Right. Eyes front. Core. Hold. Core will advance. A left turn. Sergeant Major. Thank you.
What is happening, ladies, are the two officers are going to sign the papers for the chain command. Lieutenant Gaetz and
It's an
Captain
honor
Kozar.
to pass the corps on to you, Lieutenant.
Do you have a special pen for this, Frank?
Also,
Oh,
Elias.
there is a special pen. It's right there, Frank.
Lieutenant Hoffman, ACO Land.
We all got one to sign here.
From the league, we have Tex
So that's,
McCown and Dr. Earl Mansfield. From the Legion, we have Comrade Storier, Master of Arms, Mr. Hoken.
I guess we'll all use the same pen.
From the RCMP, we have Inspector Lamob. And from 2733, we have Lieutenant Brooke.
Put that over here, Frank.
I believe also attending is Captain Kozar's wife and his sisters.
Sisters, better do the plural.
Once the important
One more
documents
here.
are signed,
That's
there will
just
be
two
a
we have to sign for the outgoing officer. Okay. That's it. You send away your life. Let me just sponsor your signature and sponsor on that. And what I'll do is I'll pass it. You can sign your name away.
Lieutenant Gaetz is now signing away his life.
Thank you, Junior.
We'll have a word with him later on.
Those bullshit officer cadets.
You'll be an officer cadet for a long time, sir.
One more. We'll need to get the sponsor signature before the end of the evening.
The sponsor signs there.
Yeah, and you'll be released from your duties. One of these is yours, Frank.
Great.
One of these is yours.
I didn't ever get very many of these.
Is that right?
No.
And one of these we'll give to Scott. We'll take back to the detachment, put it on the unit file. Let's see, it's ACA. Very good. That's it, gentlemen. Congratulations, Frank.
Thank you very kindly, sir.
Done a hell of a job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. To you.
Lieutenant Gaetz, my very best.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay, now we're going to do the addresses.
I gather age still has some value in that I get to go first. For those of you who are not very familiar with military ritual, I want to, as part of my message, emphasize the importance of tradition. particularly in the Army side of cadets. For that reason, I brought with me a bit of tradition. We are the Loyal Edmonton Regiment Corps, and the Colonel will recognize this bit of tradition because it goes back a long, long way. This is the sash that I was commissioned in many years ago, and I have the ACO's permission, this is not regular part of the uniform, this evening for teaching purposes and for sentimental reasons to put that sash on. And I put it on with a great bit of pride and honor. It's a little snug after these many years, but I can assure you in my youth, this wasn't flab, it was good stuff. After all, I was Patricia's trained, and they were heavy on the physical activity. I need the blue blanket here. I can't teach without a lecture. Tonight, when I relinquished command of your corps, I completed my 10th posting of my tenure with the cadet movement. This tenure has spanned nearly 4 decades and has seen the cadet movement change from a strongly Army-based organization with a very military-oriented curriculum to the Boy Scoutish movement of the 60s, to the integration attempt of the 70s, with its attempt to minimize the difference among and between the various elements, to the 90s, when an attempt is once again being made to have 3 groups of cadets, each with its own distinctive program, its own distinctive traditions and history. Assisting the Department of National Defense in furthering the aims of the cadet movement are 2 organizations. One is our sponsor, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 175 Kingsway. If you have an opportunity to get the last copy of the Legion magazine, you will note the strong message sent by the Legion to our politicians and to all Canadians regarding the crucial role that the cadet movement plays in the building of citizens of our nation. The other organization, of course, is the Army Cadet League. And I would, because they have taken great pleasure on all these many years in tasking me, and then sitting back and looking, I, gentlemen, will now task you with 3 tasks. The first is to help in the building of a strong identity for the Army CIL by making generous use of signs and symbols, including the regimental organization. Take to heart, gentlemen, the message that General Belzile gave you. He pointed out the power of the regiment in unifying and giving purpose to a group. Apply that to the CIL, I urge you. Since the CIL is a teaching organization, a teaching branch, in fact, you need to ensure that the recruiting, the promotion, the in-service, and other policies reflect that fact. As influential citizens in the community, you serve on various committees, you must pursue vigorously the support of others, in particular, all 3 levels of government, as well as the corporate sector, in providing the tools required by the cadet movement to carry out its aims. Gentlemen, quite a tasking. Good luck. Parents, I don't have to ask you for your support. Your past performance in this corps, in this regards, speaks to that most eloquently. You need only to look at your corps here tonight to see how successful your support has been. My last tasking is to you, the cadets. Cadets, you are privileged to live in a country with the most democratic form of government in the world. Our constitutional monarchy form of government patterned after the British parliamentary system of democracy, makes generous use of signs and symbols in ensuring the rule of the majority while addressing the rights of the individual. The Queen of Canada, our Queen, as head of the state, is a powerful symbol that brings us all together. You cadets bear that symbol in the title Royal Canadian Army Cadets, as does the Royal Canadian Regiment, the Royal 22nd Regiment, and the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, along with a host of others. You as Canadians join others in that large group of nations that make up this Commonwealth of Nations, all taking pride in such an association. We're all bound together by a powerful symbol, our Queen. And to make sure that you review how we are governed, I have left for Lieutenant Gaetz a number of excellent pamphlets that speak to how we are governed. During the course of your training, you have been made well aware of the three aims of the cadet movement. Physical fitness. I ask you consider this aim carefully. Healthy individuals make a healthy society and allow the billions of dollars now spent on caring for those who have abused their bodies to be allocated to those purposes that occur in a society in a natural form. Regretfully, our couch potato society makes this task most difficult. Citizenship. I hope that the skills you've learned in this area will be put to good use. Take an active interest in local and provincial and federal affairs. Democracy can only function well if citizens take an active part in the affairs of their community, their province, and their nation. Now more than ever before, Canadians need a direct input. If the principles of democracy as we know them are to endure, do not be reluctant to stand up to voice your concerns if these principles are threatened. History has ample evidence of what happens when apathy sets in on a society and the society is no longer a caring society. Do not allow small pressure groups or interest groups to satisfy their own personal needs and interests at the expense of the general good. Leadership is most important in our democracy. We need leaders with honesty, integrity, empathy, and commitment. I have every confidence that this group will send forth leaders who have honesty, integrity, empathy, and commitment. Leaders who will make a significant difference in many sectors of our society. And this confidence is based on the training received by this fine group of cadets. Training made possible by the large number of organizations and individuals who've supported me in my endeavors over these many years, and to whom I owe a debt of gratitude. Let me name the first group. NDHQ, that's part of DND in Ottawa. Friends here at the Prairie Region Cadet Detachment. Major Macaulay, Lieutenant Hoffman, Captain Proctor, who incidentally cares for each cadet as if it were her own son or daughter, Warrant Officer Cowan, and our own Sergeant Major Boodle, and others, including Lieutenant Colonel Buick, and our own Loyal Edmonton Regiment, among other militia groups, who have assisted me in carrying out my task. The sponsor, Branch 175, the Royal Canadian Legion, for their generous financial support of our vigorous training program. It was your support, Comrade Hokan and Storier, that allowed my training staff to plan and carry out a first-rate program that has once again put 1809 on the map. And then the League, Mr. National President, who's here this evening, and who was, a few years ago, standing where the Sergeant Major is standing. He was a member of this corps. Alberta past President Clues, present President Dr. Mansfield, your enthusiastic support has enabled us to overcome some formidable obstacles, especially when it comes to relocating our stores on numerous occasions and with little or no notice. Mr. Clues and Dr. Mansfield, your personal involvement in resolving some of our problems is gratefully acknowledged. Parents, I acknowledge with sincere appreciation your commitment to the cadet movement and to our corps in particular. To the RCMP, the Scarlet Riders, who through their very active involvement with cadets, especially in rural areas, have contributed immensely to the success of the movement. And I am most pleased this evening to see the inspector from headquarters and Corporal Mallet. Where is Corporal Mallet? I did see him earlier. In the back, he's incognito, actually, Inspector. You wouldn't recognize him. But that's Corporal Mallet, a first-rate musketry instructor. He assisted me in Grand Prairie for many years. C.I. Nielsen, who underwent knee surgery just recently, our admin officer, and C.I. Gaetz, our quartermaster, for their commitment and their dedication to the work of 1809. Your performance in carrying out your duties, often under conditions less than satisfactory, has been truly remarkable. To all of you, thank you. To my wife, Dolores, who single-handedly carried the burden of managing the family during my many summers at Calgary, Borden, Banff, Ottawa, Germany, etc., and who endured nearly 4 decades of lonely evenings and weekends so that I might be with cadets. I owe you a deep gratitude. Your sacrifice has meant a lot to me, and thank you. To the cadets, I have a parting message. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than an unsuccessful man with talent. Genius will not. The unrewarded genius is almost a parable. Education won't. The world is full of educated failures. Persistence and determination alone are unlimited. Cadets, thank you for your contribution to rebuilding this corps. I am most proud of your achievement, and I know that your accomplishments in the area of citizenship and leadership in the years to come will be equally impressive. It has been both an honor and a privilege to be your commanding officer. Cadets français, bonjour, au revoir, que le Seigneur soit avec vous. Cadets, my best to you. Till we meet again, God bless.
Captain Kozar, Lieutenant Gaetz, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, cadets of 1809 Loyal Edmonton Regiment Army Cadet Corps. I was planning on running through Captain Kozar's involvement with the cadet organization, but if I do that, I'm going to be longer than he was. So in order to expedite it, I would suffice it to say that Frank has certainly been a strong supporter in the Army Cadet movement, and as he said, for 4 decades. It is a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here tonight to review or preside over the change of command parade. Frank can always be counted on to ask the trying questions and the challenging questions that we so fear at the detachment. And in doing so, certainly keeps us checking our six most times. One of the things that Captain Kozar touched on was symbology, and I think that for the parade tonight, I think it's very important that the cadets see that the change of command happen on parade, because a significant event is happening in the history of 1809, given that Captain Kozar is stepping down as the commanding officer and Lieutenant Gaetz is assuming command of the unit. For Frank, for all your work that you've done in the Alberta Army Cadet movement, I send my deep felt thanks. I appreciate the work that you've done, and you've done such a good job, I'm going to take you onto my staff until something else comes up for you. So you're not done yet. I'm going to use Captain Kozar as a public relations officer on my detachment staff. For those of you who have seen Captain Kozar at various functions, you can always be rest assured that he has his camera hanging around his neck. So I intend to take advantage of his keen enthusiasm in the cadet movement. Thank you very much, Frank. Lieutenant Gaetz, good luck. There's a big job ahead of you, and I'm sure that you, surrounded by your staff, senior cadets and cadets of 1809, will serve the Corps proudly. I would challenge all the staff, and see some of them belongs to your immediate family, you might have a little bit more control over them than some, that I would expect that the senior cadets and the officers and civilian instructors and volunteers of 1809 show the same amount of loyalty to Lieutenant Gaetz as he starts his tenure of command, as they have shown to Captain Kozar during the rebuilding phase of 1809. The cadets, it's your Corps. What you make of it is going to be what it is. Through the generous support of the Legion that's already been acknowledged tonight, the Army Cadet League, and in fact all other agencies that are a driving force behind the success of an Army Cadet unit, I expect that this Corps will succeed in the future as it has over the tenure of Captain Kozar. I'm going to cut it off there, and if Lieutenant Gaetz, if you wish to address the Court this time, I'll give you the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Major McCauley, distinguished guests, parents, cadets. Tonight's a big night for me. Tonight, I take command. The responsibility is large for me, and I accept that challenge because I think that there's a job to be done. I think that our young people are worth the effort that we put into them. I think our country will be better because of you and what you grew up to be. And a large part of that can come from what you learn in cadets. You, young people, in my opinion, are the most precious and valued resource this country has. And we want you to lead, be the example for the rest of the world. It's a large responsibility. You can do it. I'm not going to go on much longer. I'm going to say simply these few words to you. You're okay, and I'm okay. We'll both get better along the way. And when we come to this adventure's end, I want to stand beside you as a friend. And we'll look back along the way, and we can honestly hold our heads up and say, you're okay, and I'm okay, and we both got better along the way. So let's go and do the job. Thank you. I'm going to digress from the norm a bit and ask Captain Kozar and Mrs. Kozar if they would come to the dais, and Warrant 40 and Corporal LeMay, would you come forward, please?
Sir, on behalf of the Corps and all you've done for our Corps for the past 2 years, sir, we'd like to present you with this. Commendation.
Thank you, very kind.
This is a small remembrance from the members of the Corps who appreciate with affection the work that the captain has put into this Corps and the support that his wife has given to us by giving up her time so that Frank can be with us.
Captain Kozar, Lieutenant Gaetz, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be very brief. My function in support of this cadet corps is to provide such military support as they require to do their training. We're happy to do that, proud to do that. We have a number of cadet corps in the area that we support. This one has been a particularly strong cadet corps, brought to greater strength by Captain Kozar, and I'm sure it will continue at least at its present level under Lieutenant Gaetz' command. I'm happy to provide the support. We'll provide all we can, and you, the cadets, should know that we're here to support you and provide whatever we can to assist in your training. I'd like to take this opportunity tonight before I sit down to present Captain Kozar with a small memento for the Loyal Edmonton Regiment. Thanks very much, Frank. Thank you, sir, for your service. It's been very, very useful.
I'm proud to have served the regiment in some small way, sir. And this will find a place of honor in my den, which has many memories of my work with cadets over the years. I've been associated with this regiment through its corps for roughly 10 years in Grand Prairie and 2 years here. So I am quite familiar with the regiment, one of Canada's finest regiments. Thank you, sir.
Could Dr. Earl's Mansfield come on, please?
Captain Kozar, Mrs. Kozar, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here this evening as president of the Army Cadet League of Alberta to make a presentation to Captain Kozar. However, I've asked Mr. Dennis Fleck to join me, who is the national president, the president for all of Canada of all the Army Cadet leagues across Canada. He does live in Edmonton, but we can say that for this evening he's from Ottawa, and you can hold your applause. But wanted Mr. Fleck to join me up here because he also, I know, has high regard for the accomplishments of Captain Kozar. We'll call you over in just a moment, but the plaque, it took an awful lot of engraving because it was a matter of getting all the military honors and academic credentials of Captain Kozar on here, and that almost took up a plaque in itself. However, the fact is that the measure of this man is not in the military credentials or the academic credentials. Amongst other factors, they talk about the fact that any good chief executive officer does a good job of training his replacement. And over the years, this has certainly been true of Captain Kozar, and it's true for 1809. We know very much, parents, I can assure you, that your young people will continue in good hands with Lieutenant Gaetz, and I know that Captain Kozar can leave with a feeling of satisfaction that that is true. Because certainly, as he has said, those in the CIL are in positions of trust with you, the parents, as well as with the cadets. The other aspect, though, of training's replacement is something he's done for, and there's some disagreement about the actual number of years, but certainly over 32 years of service to cadets in this province, that he has in fact been training replacements for all of us who are of an age, because you see there standing up the leaders of the future, and he's done this in Grand Prairie, he's done this in numerous other locations across this province, and he's doing it again here, training replacements for those of us who can go on to retirement and so on, and these are the young people that have to pick up the torch and carry it on for this country of ours. This plaque, if you come forward, please, Frank. It says to Captain Frank Kozar, then numerous academic and military credentials, an appreciation for 32 years of devoted, honorable, and most successful service to Canadian and International Army cadets, dated March 1st, 1994. Frank.
Thank you, George. Could you take another one? Is there another one? Fairly close. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, without stealing the thunder, I'd just like to say a few brief words. Frank alluded to the fact that I was a cadet in this cadet corps, and I was. Some 30, almost 40 years ago, I think, that I was a cadet in this cadet corps, and I went out to a small village called Thorsby, Alberta, on the first exercise that a young boy from Edmonton was going out to rural Alberta on an exercise to stay in the Thorsby High School for a weekend exercise, where I had the pleasure, but I didn't know it at the time, but I do now, of meeting a young subaltern who watched me climb the stairs with my puttees raveled around my knees and falling onto the floor, and graciously helped me up. He's never let me forget that. But what I really want to say is that this gentleman represents to you a segment of Canada who has probably trained well over 1,000 young people like this, and young people like me, because I'm still younger than he is. And we're all the better for it. And it's only through the dedication, the time, the commitment that this man has for his country and for the movement that he stands here today. And he stands here looking at his cadets and looking at the older cadets. And ladies and gentlemen, we owe him a great deal of thanks for all the work that he's done in the past 40 years. Frank, thank you.
If I might, because I don't want to take up more time, because I know the cadets are struggling over here and trying to get the blood flowing, and I know I do where you're standing now, and it takes a while sometimes for that blood all seems to be in your feet and your head's feeling light, so just keep moving around and you'll be all right. But there's two other people I just wanted to acknowledge from the league that are here this evening. Mr. Francois Arsenault is out here from Calgary, taking pictures, which we hope will be on TV and one of the locations across Canada, certainly in Alberta. And also Mr. Ian Edwards, who's been in charge of Frank's camera this evening. As you know, Frank is one who's usually taking the pictures of these events, and somehow it wasn't possible for him to both be changing and have to take the pictures at the same time. So thank you, Ian. Thank you, Francois. And thank you again, Frank.
This is the last one, guys.
Captain Kozar, distinguished guests, parents, and cadets. I'm Major Tex McCannell. Since retiring from the Army, I've been involved with the Army Cadet League for the last 20 years. I'm the past president, and it's been most rewarding working with the cadets. Tonight, I'm here in my capacity as past president of the Edmonton branch of the Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry Association. The Loyal Edmonton Regiment, as you know, is the 4th Battalion of the PPCLI, which is affiliated with this Cadet Corps. The Edmonton branch of the PPCLI Association, which is formed of military personnel who were members of or associated with the regiment, who have retired and are serving and with serving members in the Edmonton area. The association has discussed the involvement of the branch in cadet activities. It was suggested that we should be supporting the 1809 Loyal Edmonton Regiment Royal Canadian Army Cadets. The Edmonton branch has decided to provide a trophy to the cadets of the 1890 Army Cadet Corps. Tonight, Captain Kozar is retiring from this cadet corps, and the end of time is the beginning of a new time. The trophy is to be named the PPCLI Association Captain Kozar Trophy. It will be given to the cadet that most exemplifies, as Captain Kozar has, the qualities of dedicated citizenship. The details of the trophy and the conditions of the award to be set by Captain Kozar, together with the Edmonton branch of the PPCLI Association. This will ensure that the association and Captain Kozar will be permanently involved with the Corps. We wish the Corps the best of development for the future. We thank you very much.
A little earlier I said that I was Patricia's tainted, and I guess maybe some of that tainting will carry on through this great honor which the regiment has bestowed upon me. Run your regiment proud. Remember Ortona and the persistence of the regiment there, and apply that to this corps, and you have no place to go but up. God bless.
RCACC Cadet Corps will march past in column of route. Move to the right in column of route. Right, march! Read, march! Leave, move! Eyes, right! Advance in review order by the center with march. General salute, salute. Sergeant Major!
Or. Or. Right! Rest!
Once the
Or
court
raise!